So you might think that you're rich and wealthy and have a high quality life because you live in a place where you've got the best medical care in the world. You've got an abundance of food that you can just buy from the supermarket. You have a high paying job, a good income. There's brilliant infrastructure all around you and everything just looks modern and great and high quality. And you might compare that to another country. I don't know, another country that we look at as poor or just less wealthy because they seem to lack something that you have, that we have. I was lucky enough to visit the beautiful country of Sri Lanka a few months ago and I spent some good time there. And it got me thinking that obviously their way of life was very, very different to my way of life. And to many other people that live the life I live, they would look at Sri Lankans as poor, I guess, because their income's absolutely nowhere near what we earn or what they earn or what he earns or she earns. You know, their homes weren't as immaculate and all modern day built. They were just, well, normal homes. They weren't overdone and they actually had way more character than the skyscrapers and all the bland houses that we seem to think are special in these modern days, in this modern world. So let me tell you a few differences that made me reconsider whether or not if I was actually poor or rich. First up, when I go into the supermarket that has everything, I'm literally paying for food that's been sprayed with cancerous causing pesticides and all these chemicals, and all the food and all the meat's full of horrid preservatives that cause all these problems, and everything's got some sort of horrible ingredient in that is slowly poisoning our society, and I actually have to pay for that. So I pay for that. And again, the medical system that we have, it's so great. We get all these free vaccines and free flu shots, but in reality, these free vaccines and free flu shots are causing underlying illnesses in many, many people. They make a lot of us sick, and because we're told that they're safe and the doctors tell you that it's all fine, we just take them and let the system poison us. Now, in Sri Lanka, their healthcare isn't as good as ours. Just because they don't get, I don't know, the same amount of free vaccines and free flu shots that we have that keep us sick. They also don't really worry much about food, and a lot of the food that Sri Lankans eat is for free. You know, they can just go pick a coconut off a tree, you know, drink a coconut. What do? We drink contaminated tap water full of chlorine, microplastics, fluoride, just harming our health, again, that we have to pay for at the end of the month when our water bill comes through, and like, that's not good. So what, we've got running water. Yes, running water is a blessing, that is great, but it's far from clean, whereas people in other countries, yeah, they might collect their own water, and I'm not saying that's easy, it's definitely not easy, but at least it's clean water. It's water that actually nourishes their body. It's water that actually hydrates their body, and it has all the minerals and stuff that they need in that water. And again, it's the same for the food. They could just pick a banana off a tree or some form of fruit, or they've got rice that they just grow, and they just work for their food, and they've earned it. They've earned their food, not through having an income necessarily. Obviously, Sri Lankans have jobs and have an income and work hard, and they buy things from supermarkets, but it's just not as contaminated and poisoned the same way our modern day high quality world is. So long story short, those people that we seem to think are poor actually have a much higher quality life than us in many ways. I'm not saying in every way, I'm saying in many ways. Their food isn't as poisoned as ours is. Their water isn't as poisoned as the water we drink is. You know, it's little things like that. When I was walking around the beautiful country of Sri Lanka, you know, I couldn't see nowhere near as much illness, or like mental illness, physical illness. Everyone was just doing their thing, playing their role in this world, and they were just getting on with it. You know, there was no one just screaming out of nowhere like you do. Like you walk through a city. Now let's be honest, you can walk through a modern day city now, like New York, London, Melbourne, and like there's always someone outrageously like screaming, or like there's people getting stabbed at bus stops, and like there's so many people that are very threatening towards society, that these poor countries, again, don't always have to worry about the same way we do. And no, I'm obviously not saying that there's countries out there that don't have any violent crime. And I'm not saying that there's no country that doesn't commit any disorderly behavior. Like every country has that. We know this. But some countries, much better than others. Much better than others, let's be honest. Like, you can do your own research on that. Why are some countries so much more functional than others? Why is illness so much lower in other places? You know, and it just got me thinking. The bottom line is, real wealth and a rich lifestyle is being healthy, building a community, having a family that you love, having friends that you trust, and that really is all you need. You know, and I just think we should reconsider a bit what we're actually chasing. You know, God gave us food for free. You just gotta, you know, play your part, do your bit. And he gave us clean water for free. So don't think you're all well off because you're going to the supermarket and buying poison at your fingertips. That's slowly killing your mind, killing your body. You know, and it's just made me reconsider where I actually want to live and start a family and raise a family. Because I don't want the people I love to be surrounded by poison and negativity. You know, I want them to be healthy and care about each other and trust each other. And in a lot of these rich, wealthy countries and cities, that's what I've noticed falls apart. There's less trustworthy community, and there's a lot of health issues that aren't talked about. I know this video seemed a bit random, and well, it was a bit random because I was just thinking about it, but hopefully you understood the message. Like, every country is beautiful. Every country can have all you need, but you don't always get to pick and choose. So obviously just be grateful for what you've got and just try your very best to focus on what actually matters, because the status that a lot of us chase, or I'll be happy when I've got this car and this house and live there and whatever it is, like, none of that matters. You need to be healthy, you need to have people that you love, and you need to have people that love you, and you need to trust each other and build a strong community of friends and family that look out for each other and provide for each other. And that's what a lot of these poor countries have, and it seems to crumble in these rich and wealthy countries. We don't seem as connected as others.